All right, let's talk about a term you literally can't escape these days: artificial intelligence. But what's really behind the hype? And what about all those other words that get thrown into the mix? It's time to clear things up.
I mean, of course you have, right? You probably hear it a dozen times a day. It's in the news. It's all over your work emails. It's popping up on your social feeds. It's become this go-to word for pretty much anything that feels like a little piece of the future.
And honestly, that's where the problem starts. AI is now this giant catch-all, a buzzword that's so big it can sometimes feel a little, well, meaningless. But when you're talking tech, when you're talking business, being precise really, really matters. So today, we're going to do just that. So, to get this sorted, let's start with the big picture. Think of these first few terms as the close relatives in the whole AI family tree. They're often used interchangeably with AI, and for good reason. Okay, first up is a great one: machine intelligence. This is a really straightforward way to think about AI. It gets right to the heart of it all, building machines that can, think for themselves. They take in a bunch of information, figure out what it all means, and then act on it, all on their own. The thing to remember here is that machine intelligence isn't just about a computer following a set of rules we gave it. Nope. It's about processing, it's about learning, and it's about deciding. That's why you'll hear this term a lot in more technical or business-focused conversations about automation. Now, building on that, we have computational intelligence. And yeah, this one definitely sounds a little more academic, right? That's kind of the point. It describes AI systems that don't just learn once, but that are designed to evolve and get smarter at their jobs over time. So it's not just about making one smart decision, it's about constantly improving how those decisions get made. So how in the world does it do that? Well, it often uses some really complex stuff, like neural networks that are inspired by the human brain, or even something called genetic algorithms, which kind of use evolution to find the best possible solution to a problem. This is the kind of term you'd hear in a research lab that's really pushing the envelope. Okay, so we've got the big picture synonyms down. Now let's peel back the next layer of this onion. We're going to look at terms that are actually specific types of AI, even though people toss them around like they're the same thing. And this brings us to one of the biggest points of confusion out there. You've definitely heard of machine learning, or ML for short. So is it just another word for AI? The short answer, no, but it's a massive piece of the puzzle. Think of it like this. Machine learning is a specific way to achieve artificial intelligence. It's not the entire field, but it is one of the most powerful tools in the toolbox. You basically feed a system a ton of data, and it teaches itself how to spot patterns and make predictions. This is the magic behind your Netflix recommendations, your email spam filter, all that good stuff. And if we zoom in one step further, we hit deep learning. This is a super specialized, really advanced kind of machine learning. The key word here is deep. It uses many, many layers of those neural networks we talked about, which allows it to handle way more complex patterns in data.
So where do you see this in action? Well, when your phone unlocks by recognizing your face, that's deep learning. When your smart speaker actually understands what you're saying, that's deep learning. A self-driving car? You guessed it. It's the powerhouse that deals with all the messy, complicated data of the real world. All right, so we've gone from the big picture all the way down to the nitty-gritty technical terms. Now let's switch gears and look at the language people use when AI is actually out there in the wild, doing a job in a specific industry. Because let's be real, if you're in a hospital or a factory, you're probably not going to hear people talking about multi-layered neural networks. Instead, you're going to hear terms that describe what the AI is actually doing. The language gets a lot more practical. So let's run through a few of these. You might hear cognitive computing when an AI is trying to mimic human thought, like analyzing patient charts in healthcare. Then there's intelligent automation, which is all about using AI to make business processes run smoother, especially in manufacturing. And expert systems are AIs built to act like a human expert, like a top-notch doctor or lawyer, helping make really tough calls. Okay, phew. We have covered a lot of ground and a whole lot of terms. So let's wrap this all up and talk about why getting the language right actually makes a difference. You might be sitting there thinking, okay, but does it really matter if I say AI instead of machine learning? And you know what? If you want to have a smart, clear, and productive conversation about this stuff, the answer is a huge yes. Here's the bottom line. Using the right word brings clarity. It shows people you actually get the details of the technology. It makes you sound way more plugged in your own field. And most importantly, it just leads to better communication, whether you're talking to a data scientist or trying to explain a new tool to your team. And this quote from our source material really just nails it. The goal here isn't to be a vocabulary nerd, it's to communicate clearly so everyone can get on the same page and get things done.
So the next time you hear someone drop the AI bomb, stop and ask yourself, what do they really mean? Are we talking about broad machine intelligence, a specific expert system, or the cutting edge of computational intelligence? The language of tech never stands still, and being precise is the best way to keep up. Makes you wonder, what's the next big buzzword we're all going to have to learn?